So I'm not sure if this is the exact way Bungie thought about this exotic and how it can be used, but you can become unkillable on a ton of different builds with this one exotic, and I'm going to break it down for you all and show you how to accomplish this. In a minute here, you will see gameplay of it performing on a Void Warlock where we are 20 power level under the recommended, and I just jump headfirst into groups of enemies, even with champions and those fire knights, and I really don't care because I know I can't die as long as I use the build correctly in combination with the new exotic. So let's break down how you're going to accomplish this, and in any ability spam build, which is basically a ton of the builds that I make and cover on this channel, as long as you have a source of healing. So for example, restoration on solar or devour on void, or even extra damage reduction like a void overshield. When you combine things like that with this new exotic, it's kinda dumb on what we can do in the game. So first off, I want to break it down for you guys to show you exactly what's going on and why we get so much damage reduction with what we're doing. First off, let's test restoration. We'll use Carl over here because that's just the easiest way to do this, and he actually hits pretty hard with his solar minigun. So if we just stand in front of him, we get melted pretty fast as expected. We die pretty much instantly and can't do very much because we just stood there. Now let's just add in restoration since it's a pretty normal staple now in solar builds like a Bonk Hammer build or a Sunbracers build. Oh, and speaking of Sunbracers, if you proc restoration ×2 with Sunbracers in the build with restoration with Phoenix Dive, and you add in this exotic, you are literally unkillable in most difficult content. So with restoration, we survive a lot better against Carl here. We still end up dying and our health stays pretty low, but better than without it, right? Now let's add in the new exotic called the Navigator. I'm sure you all have seen other content on this exotic and running it as a support build with maybe the new exotic helmet for warlocks, but I'm here to tell you that this thing takes any ability spam build or any other builds that don't require a specific weapon and puts it into the unkillable category as long as you have some form of healing. This can be any healing rift on a subclass for warlock, this can be restoration on a solar, or maybe even devour on void. This can also be any exotic that heals you or abilities that heal you. So stuff like the Karnstein armlets on warlocks that heal you, even a punchy arc hunter that heals on punches can use this, and here's why. When we shoot an enemy, it applies sever, so it makes that particular enemy do 30% less damage to us. That's nice against harder hitting targets, but again, if you're surrounded by ads, you're still gonna die from everything else, not just, the one champion that's shooting at you. But the more important thing is it grants us Woven Mail for 10 seconds. The Woven Mail buff combined with 100 resilience is the best and easiest damage reduction in the game by far. It's just 60% damage reduction from everything that's coming at you. This is why Strand feels really good to play because it is so tanky with any class as long as you have Woven Mail procced. But Strand does suffer from healing. There's actually no way to heal within the Strand subclass for as far as aspects and fragments go. You have to get your healing from an outside source, maybe like an exotic or just orbs of power. Well, now we can have Woven Mail for that insane damage reduction, but on any subclass and any build. So the options are crazy here because as long as we apply some source of healing, that is what makes us unkillable with ease as long as we have this exotic and Woven Mail. So when we have just one stack of restoration from our stun spot combined with Woven Mail, our health bar literally doesn't move standing in front of Carl over here. So he melted us without any buffs, and even when we just had restoration alone, he still killed us and our health was low most of the time. But just with one stack of restoration from our stun spot combined with Woven Mail, our health bar doesn't move. It doesn't drop at all. We were testing this in the new dungeon as well, and me and Legend were just standing in our sunspots, and our health wouldn't budge because we had Woven Mail plus healing. It was a lot of fun, and Rob was getting kind of mad at us because we were just dicking around. Now let's look at Devour. Devour on any Void subclass gives you a full heal by killing something with any source. This could be a weapon or an ability. So now the Navigator can proc Woven Mail and Devour on a kill as long as Devour is active. Devour is easily active on a Void Warlock or any other Void subclass just by picking up an Orb of Power or a Void Breach, or on a Void Warlock if you have the aspect and kill something. So keeping up Devour on Void is super simple. Plus we can add in Void Overshields on top of both Woven Mail and Devour, so that's why I'm able to jump into all of these enemies and even champions without really caring because I know I will survive and I will just let my abilities kill everything. And that's because we have Woven Mail, so we have the insane damage reduction. Plus we know we're just going to heal every so often from our Devour, so it just doesn't matter. The only thing I have to worry about is every 10 seconds shooting something with the Navigator to proc Woven Mail. And in between those times, I can pull out different weapons and shoot other enemies or just use my abilities, do whatever I want. But just in the back of my mind, always remember that, hey, my woven mail falls off in 10 seconds, so just reproc it every 10 seconds by shooting an enemy with your navigator. So if you guys haven't played the new dungeon, make sure to jump into LFG groups on the Destiny 2 Discord, because there is always a ton of people looking to run. And I think the potential of this exotic is amazing in any ability-based builds, as long as you have just a small source of healing that you can apply to the overall build, because you can become literally unkillable in Destiny 2 when you can straight up heal while having that woven mail damage reduction. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video and maybe got some new ideas for builds or learned something new, because I know personally I could sit down and probably make like 10 different builds with this exotic already, and I'm talking ability spam builds on different classes and characters, on Solar, on Void, and even on Arc, because I know I have different ways of healing and staying survive on those classes, while adding woven mail into the mix, which just makes them that much stronger. So thank you all so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.